never really got great. I just got like passable. And then once I got passable, I just kind of put it down for a few years. But I've been playing like almost every day again just to play. Yeah. Because I started putting all my focus into lyrics.
Right.
So.
Do you play at shows at all?
Sometimes, yeah. It just depends. Like, we had a tour scheduled for October. I'm trying to think. It was October of last year. And our bassist quit. And,
You're good.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Our bassist kind of quit, and we had a guy filling in. And then the day before we left, he quit too.
That sucks.
So I just like picked up the bass, and we had to cut our setup because I was like, there's certain songs that I actually know how to play. So we ran through the set a couple times and then headed to Philly.
That sucks.
Yeah. I've done shit like that a few times though. Like I remember,
you know enough to get by.
Yeah, like I remember one time we were in Atlanta, and Alex started puking, and he like ran to the bathroom.
No shit.
Like right as I was introducing our next song, and I noticed he was gone. I didn't know what the fuck happened, so I just picked up his guitar and we played the next song. So, but I wouldn't say I'm good. You know,
Good
I can
enough.
just, yeah.
You've just been doing it. I think it's like residual guitar talent. Like you've been around it and just
It just
with
happened.
it so long.
I'm in a band with Emmert, so you like know some scales
Yeah.
at some point, you know.
I'm sorry. There was something on the projector, and I didn't want to say anything because we're on. But yeah, like playing. I always played guitar with people that were better than me.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't hard to find someone because like,
You suck.
I'm a rhythm player, so I wasn't very flashy.
Yeah.
Like I could just keep time really well, and then so I would play people that would play like wicked lead. And coincidentally, it was like the same kids that were good at like Guitar Hero and shit like that.
Yeah.
So like I would pick up a little bit of lead stuff from that, and I learned like blues scales and just right now I'm playing around with like jazz kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
like I'm in no.
It's an endless pursuit. You know,
I
you can never get too good. You know, there's no ceiling on that. You could just always improve.
like if we're gonna blues jam, I can sit there and I can walk through a scale and it'll sound badass. But
Yeah.
like as far as like writing full blown leads for songs and everything, it's gonna take me a minute. Like I could figure it out. It's just I don't know. I don't know if I'm too old to like pull that talent into my brain,
Yeah.
or if it's just I'm just not meant to do it because I am a very good rhythm player.
Yeah.
That's just what you need to do then.
Yeah.
So you're a rhythm player.
Or play bass.
Or play bass.
Oh, dude,
Bass
I'd
is dope.
fucking murder to
love
play
bass.
bass.
Yeah,
Were
I'm much
you-
better at bass
were
than
you
a
supposed
guitar.
to get a bass?
Yeah, I use money.
Slapping a bass.
I use money for everything else.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So where you get inspired with your lyrics?
I actually just write about my life and shit. Like, just horror, you know. I try to take, like, all the horrible shit about life and just, you know, because that's kind of the type of music I do. I'm a hardcore lyricist, so we talk about hardcore topics, and it's very hardcore sounding, you know, so.
Yeah.
And it's just a way to get it out in a healthy way, I think, you know. I was a pretty angry kid. I used to get in trouble all the time. Used to pick fights with people over fucking anything, you know, and started, instead of doing shit like that, just kind of getting together with some friends after school, just like, hey, you can play guitar, hey, you can play drums, like, and just got people together and just like, back then I was writing all the music. I was writing all the lyrics. I wrote everything, you know. And then, you know, after a while, I started playing with people who were actually good. So they started writing stuff. So I got to focus more and more on my lyrics. And, you know, my lyrics are just about, it's realistic shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I write a little bit. I'm not
Yeah,
really
they mentioned that earlier,
yeah.
and I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I write. I don't know. I think all the genres, they all have the same concept, which is to put all the negative shit in the song. Because even in rap and hip hop, they're putting negative. Like that's what's forefront. That's what sells.
Yeah,
is the negative shit.
The negative
you know
shit.
what I
And
mean?
honestly, like, I mean, I guess I can't say all my songs are super negative, but you know, we have a couple fun songs, a couple party songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I think you need to be authentic. I think that's all that matters.
That's true. I had a situation. It's crazy because it just I just went through it just this past weekend. I had a situation with one of my family members.
Yeah.
And I had was writing music and not finishing it because it was like shitty.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
like
dude.
No,
I think I continue, but I can empathize with like I feel like that about
yeah.
everything
So
I
it was.
do.
So I'm reading. I'm like, oh, this is crap.
well, I
But
do
then-
the same thing, but I consider that practice.
Yeah, but then I get into a situation like I got into an altercation with one of my family members, and then I wrote a whole piece.
Yeah, it just came
And
to
yeah, and it just because it was
Yeah.
something that was happening. Most of the best music that I wrote was all done in like the worst time of my life.
Dude, I can 100% relate to that.
Yeah.
That's same here. You know, anytime shit goes down, and I think it's the best way I know how to process it is to write about it, and I actually got pretty decent at it, I think. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. But what kind of music do you write? Just
I do rap,
Yeah.
hip hop, R&B. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I even tried a country song before.
yeah.
Did you?
Don't
you tried
tell
to
anybody.
Darius Rucker it up, didn't you?
I tried a country song.
Well,
How'd
that's
it
good
go?
though. That's
It was-
good.
That's
I tried.
fantastic.
It was
Did you record
messed
it? Is it on YouTube?
no, absolutely. I would never do that to myself.
I tried writing hip hop a few times,
Yeah,
and it's
that's-
just like, dude, I gotta write so much more than I normally
Yeah,
have to. Like,
I'm
I'm
so serious.
writing like
you have to count
32
syllables.
bars.
It sucks.
But it's like when you writing about certain stuff, like most rap is a story.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's more of a problem, a solution, and then, you know, you're going out, you know.
Yeah.
So
I listen to more rap and hip hop than fucking anything. Believe
We
it
were
or
you
not.
listen
gonna
to?
talk about that.
Dude, I'll listen to anything from like 21 Savage to KRS-One
Yo, I fuck with-
to
I
like,
sick 21 Savage.
yeah, me too. I love 21 Savage, dude, and I love like, I'm a big time Wu-Tang fan. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like every other white dude on the planet, I'm a big
Right.
Wu-Tang
Vince
fan.
loves
But,
Wu-Tang.
Oh, so you like even the older hip hop.
yeah, just from all eras.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice,
I think there's awesome shit in everything. You know?
That's me though. I have to learn how to be more diverse in my listening patterns. It's just
You don't have to. Listen to what you want to.
But it's like when I think about it, it's like I feel like you will never reach your full potential if you don't see what every genre brings to the
Right.
table
I
and see how you
yeah.
can incorporate that. And that's what I was telling him, telling Vince when I first met him was like most of the guys that make the best hip hop beats don't even listen to rap.
Yeah.
Like
No.
rock,
They
yeah.
don't even listen to rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's funny because that just goes to show that like a free thinking musical mind can create music for
Why pick
everybody
up
to
shit
listen
and
to.
rap? I listen to bluegrass too. Like
Yeah.
I listen to jazz sometimes. I
Yeah.
listen to like I got into like traditional Cuban music not too
Yeah.
long ago. It's just dope to
Yeah,
me.
it's just opening it, you know what I'm saying? So and you know one thing I realized is the influence that we have in music I everybody know I was in the military. So
Yeah.
was in the military. So in South Korea, like I'm going over there, I'm like, oh
Wow.
man, I'm about to hear this. I don't know what they're about to be
Crazy.
listening to in the
Yeah.
club.
K-pop.
Yeah.
So my friend's like, hey, you want to go out? I'm like, yeah. So we get to the club, and you know it's you got to pay your won. That's what the money currency is.
Uh-huh.
Pay them, and you go downstairs and you go down another flight, and you're like, man, where are we going? Right?
It's a basement.
And then you start seeing lights and hearing music. Like, oh my God, you open the door and it's a wild party. And they're listening to the same stuff that we're listening to.
yeah.
Oh,
For
dude, they
real?
love
Western-
American
They
music.
love American music.
Just like any other country, basically, the Western world dominates entertainment,
Yeah,
music,
exactly.
movies,
Yeah.
whatever, man. They
But
dominate.
then, and then that's crazy. Another thing I seen is how like you know on the like the voice, the TV show The Voice where they're like
Yeah.
singing, competing to sing and
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's people who don't even speak English and they
Come
sound
on there.
just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they sound just like us when they're singing the song. They
Yeah.
like learn English for that song only
Yeah.
and like
There's
go
Uh-huh.
right back to speaking whatever language they speak.
You know
It's
the
weird.
band Journey? Like they sang
Don't Stop
Don't
Believin'.
Stop Believing.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
song. All right, they're I don't know if their singer's dead or like they kicked him out or something. I don't know, he might be dead.
He might be. I don't know.
But they found a kid on YouTube that's South Korean and like speaks with an accent but can sing those songs without an accent perfectly.
Exactly.
It's
That's
crazy.
that's what I'm
That's
talking about. It's
amazing.
weird. I seen 3 little boys on Facebook the other day, little Philippine boys, and they were singing Whitney Houston.
Oh
And
Jesus.
and if you would have looked away from the TV, you would have thought
You
it was
thought
her.
it was Whitney.
That's
That's
crazy.
awesome.
Like I was like, what in the world is
Yeah.
this?
That's fucking awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know how. I always wondered that, like, even like actors and stuff, like it's so real, like with their accent, like.
You know what?
Like Rick Grimes.
I will say another thing about being overseas. They hold themselves to a different standard.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so they know that English is a dominating language.
Yeah.
You know, English and Spanish are pretty much the two most dominating languages. So they make their kids learn English.
Right from the
Yeah.
beginning.
Like they like if you look online, like you will find a job paying you like $70,000 a year to be an English teacher in South Korea.
Yeah.
Dude,
Like an English teacher. That's it.
Right.
You don't teach no other subject, just English. 70,000
Yeah.
here.
I don't understand.
probably goes
how,
a long
like,
way down
Spanish
there.
isn't just a regular
Like a class.
like a regularly taught language in this country.
I don't
It's
know.
absolutely fucking
yeah,
ridiculous.
it shouldn't really be
Yeah.
an elective at this point.
Yeah, it's
And any fucking
I
yahoo
tried to
that,
take Spanish.
that spits out that you know you better speak English bullshit, dude.
they're the most
Do you know-
ignorant fucks.
Well, look
I have
at
ever
like
don't-
the
met.
European
they don't
countries.
get
There's
that.
all kinds of different people
No.
speaking all different kinds of
It's
languages.
not even just
and-
that. If you go over to France or Italy or all these Greek, all these
A lot
different
of people
places,
speak
we
English.
can't speak Greek.
Yeah,
you can't
exactly.
Speak, Italian.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't speak German
Can't
or
even speak French. You go far enough north.
So
you know?
Right.
when you go
That's-
over there and you're
that's
like,
on our same
I don't
alignment.
speak French, like they're looking at you the same way. Like you need to shut the hell
Yeah.
up. And
I feel
learn,
like
get
everyone in the South, at
But
least,
most of
it
the
should be
a little
like
bit more
mandatory
culture.
that, like,
yeah.
most of this, you go to France and you find businesses that all speak English, like, and French.
is true.
Like, they accommodate us more than we accommodate anybody.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think it's just the dominance of English.
Yeah.
It's like they and then you know what? I'm gonna tell you guys a story too, and don't tell Rachel. Okay, so
She
so
might listen to this. Don't say anything you don't want
We
repeated
went-
because like
when I was
I
in
don't
South
edit.
Korea, I would like try to talk to like a Korean girl, right? They were really scared of us
Yeah.
because like the Americans have really given themselves a bad name in the
Right.
country. So they would just act like they didn't know English. I was sitting next to a girl on a train over there one time, and I wanted. She was a beautiful, beautiful Korean girl.
Yeah.
And I wanted her phone number, and I asked her. She looked at me and she put her head down.
Yeah.
I put a text, hey, how are you doing? I think you're very beautiful in my phone, and handed it to her, and she read it, and texted me back in English.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I was like, so, like, what in my mind, like, what I found out is they get made fun of how, you know, when they come to Korea and they hear, I mean, when they come to the United States and
Yeah.
when they, you know, when people hear how they talk about how they speak, about
It is
their
kind of the
accent.
most mocked accent.
Yeah,
out there.
so
Yeah.
they get mocked about that.
Yeah.
They know the language.
right.
They just don't
They're
want
just
They're
not
just
gonna
like,
tell
you're
you.
going to be an asshole about it.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So it's
That sucks, man. That
Yeah.
sucks that, you know, other countries kind of see us. Not all other countries, but a lot of other countries kind of see us as like dicks. You know what I mean?
Oh,
but we
yeah.
And
are.
that's,
We are.
We're spoiled.
We earned
we're
the
spoiled
title.
dicks. Like,
Yeah.
pretty much. Like I mean, does that mean like dicks that went bad or?
it's just
like
I
past the
think
expiration.
Spoiled dicks. I just got it. I just got it.
See, and that's another thing that I like about rap is
The puns.
yeah, you get like you got punchlines, you got all the puns that you get with rap. It makes you think. You like, hold up, wait, did he just say what I think he just
Yeah.
said? And I love like wordplay and using my hyperboles and things like that to
Yeah.
get my and metaphors to get my point across.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you finessing the listener because the listener's saying like, oh, that was okay, and then you break down every single thing that you say, and they're like, hold up.
They're
He
saying
really-
some
he-
real shit.
they
here.
real-
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
It's really that's I mean it's improved my writing significantly ever since I
Absolutely.
started taking hip hop very seriously. And like, funny enough, speaking of puns, have you ever listened to Big Pun?
Yeah.
You know that Twins, that deep cover Twins he did with Fat Joe.
Yeah.
I actually use like the first verse of Big Puns. Like I memorize the verse to use, and I'll warm up before a show because you got to think I'm in a car driving 8 hours just not talking, so my mouth muscles are off. So I got to stretch, and I'll rap the whole fucking verse over and over again until my mouth muscles get good, and then go perform. So because I noticed doing that, I don't trip up over words. Not while I'm
it's the
singing.
same way I used to warm up.
Well, it's pretty automatic when I go up there. Like I'm not consciously doing anything. I'm just reacting to the moment. I'm being in the moment, and So like I don't have to focus on the words so much, but like when I'm talking to the crowd in between songs, I'd be a mush mouth a lot of times. Like for a while I was good, and then just I think I just started overthinking it or whatever. I'd be a mush mouth, but ever since I do that, talking in between songs is just I at least don't sound so awkward anymore. You know.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. I would make playlists to listen to on the way to the gig.
Yeah.
Of like songs that would progressively push my voice like harder.
Yeah.
Because I always sang like either I would go raspy, or I could go like Robert Plant high in my before I quit smoking. Ironically.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I quit smoking, I lost my entire high range.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
I don't know if it was like coincidentally happening because I was getting older or what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
But like for some reason, just after I quit smoking, it also could have been like that was right around the time I quit playing. So I quit using it, but like I can't go high like I used to. Like fuck, I think even like we played like a Zeppelin cover the last time we played with you guys.
Yeah.
Like I think we did Whole Lot of Love.
Yeah.
And
I've had too many beers since then, so I don't
dude.
really remember. But
I just remember that
Beer since
because
then,
we
AJ.
went to Buffalo and did nothing but an entire set list of old rock and roll songs.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah,
Everybody
like
knows them.
we
You know
did
what I
it-
mean? You gotta get the crowd involved.
we did it for like a birthday party.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It was a surprise birthday party, and the dude just loved like older like rock and roll, like AC/DC shit like that. Like we played some Beatles.
Did you play AC/DC, honey?
Fuck yeah, I did. I didn't. I forgot to learn the lyrics to it.
I was gonna say that one was.
you don't
high.
have to say real words.
No, you
You
just sang
go,
like
"Blah,
in
blah,
that
blah,
high
something
register.
else." Yeah, you just start shouting and sounds. They don't even have to be words.
No.
And you're
Everett and I
fine.
actually have this little plan that we're going to go to the Pottery Festival as like, just like a cover band or whatever, and we're going to play Who Made Who by AC/DC. But once it gets to the chorus, we just keep repeating the chorus until they kick us off stage. Who made who? Who made who? And it was like,
It's fucking 7
he said,
minutes
"How long do you
later."
think it would take?" He said, "How long do you think it would take?" I said, "They'll for sure give us at least our set, but after the set,
I
they might
bet.
start turning power off." I was like,
I hate iPhone 10.
Yeah, I bet for sure it's
You
at
hate
least your
it?
whole
"Yeah,"
set.
and I really
That's-
want to do that though.
That's so long though. You
Yeah.
should, like that could be.
I said it was
forever.
like because he said I could play bass for it. And I said, "Shit, man, if I could be drunk, it's on like Kong Donkey."
You seriously? What was it? There was a joke someone did where they were talking about they walked into a diner and they played "What's New Pussycat" by Tom Jones.
Yeah.
like 11 times in a row.
On the jukebox or like
yeah,
the band?
like on the jukebox in like a diner. And
They
then
were so
on
bad.
the 12th time, he played "It's Not Unusual," and then straight back into "What's New Pussycat" 4 more times.
How long was he there? That's forever.
Oh, I think he like left.
I
He
wonder-
just played him and bounced.
Yeah.
That's
I
funny.
wonder like what happened to that dude to make him so sinister.
Right.
That's the
That's
most fucked
fucking
up
cruel.
And like, wonder how many times it was on before someone's like,
Okay.
Yeah, that's
This
got to
has
be
been
like
on for
an
8
hour.
minutes,
That's got to be
like-
at least an hour of What's New
yeah,
Pussycat.
because like when it just rolls into itself again, you probably don't notice when
Yeah.
you're not paying attention. But like, how many minutes later?
And here's the real dilemma: do you unplug this thing?
Yeah. At what point do we stop this actively?
But you also run the chance of it wasn't an asshole doing it. Maybe it was like a kid with autism that needs to hear this song to eat his fucking waffles, and like you fuck that up.
If it's been that at some point, I don't care.
I don't know. I think if a kid was that fucked up, they definitely wouldn't be going to a diner. Like
You don't know.
that's true. I don't. I really don't.
Like that could be his
really
thing.
don't.
Like
That
I
would be
need.
the last day we had a jukebox at our diner.
Oh, absolutely. Like I'm gonna figure out that kid's schedule, and that shit's gonna be like broke when he comes.
It would be like by request only at that point.
Yeah.
If any, I would smash it to bits.
The only time the thing is getting plugged in is like after 10 p.m.
Right, that kid better be in bed.
Right.
So, do you have any like specific field you want to get into with your business degree, or is it just?
I'm
Waiting
in
for the-
remodeling right now.
Yeah.
Me and my girlfriend just opened up a home remodeling business,
Okay.
and
Sorry, man.
And yeah, I really don't. I think I'm more my passion about waking up every morning and what is it that I would do.
Yeah.
Is get money. And the
Yeah.
second thing,
Yeah.
or just waiting. But the second thing is kids. I love kids.
Yeah.
Like I love watching them grow and develop. But even more so, I like making an impact. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to start a nonprofit as well.
Like some sort of a community
I don't
intervention.
say try. I'm going to start a nonprofit.
Yeah, you're going
as
to.
well.
Yeah,
And,
fuck that trash shit.
man, one thing about it, man, I'm not about to talk trash about myself. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
and that's what people don't realize. I feel like is when you say like things like I don't know or maybe this.
I should
you're basically
probably
saying that-
be able to do it.
I would like to tell you a story
What's that?
about your girlfriend today.
Oh God.
She
okay.
texted me this morning at 7:14 and asked if I wanted to go to the gym. I obviously said no because it was 7:14 in the morning. And she said, get up. And I said, I can't. And she said, we don't use the C word unless it's can. And I responded, oh, Jesus Christ. And that was the end of that conversation. And I went back to bed. That was the same talk she gave me this morning.
Yeah, see, we don't say it in my household.
We don't use
Yeah.
the C
Good,
word.
dude.
That's good. That's a
Yeah,
good
that-
rule.
It's just,
Living-
man, you don't want to excite that negativity, man.
Yeah.
No, living positively
Is
the key to
alive.
life.
Like I see it, and then I see negative energy too.
Yeah.
And when I see negative energy, it's the same thing. You wanna get away from it.
Yeah.
Like it's just like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
What,
So
7:14 in the morning, I ain't going to the gym. That's a new rule of thumb.
you know, I'm up every morning at 7. That's what I was.
I was, like,
I wake
up.
up every morning at 7, and
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
Like that's just.
Yeah, I don't
listen to-
I don't sleep in or anything like that either.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
bro,
like,
let's do
some
and then
shit.
you know what? It's funny because I started waking up at 8:30.
Yeah.
Right. Like when I got into this whole thing, like I'm gonna wake up at 8:30, and I was like, I thought I was doing something at
Right.
8:30. Like I'm waking up at that's early, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I realized when I started running my business that 8:30, I need to wake up earlier.
You need to
if
be
I-
out the door and
but
doing shit by
yeah,
8:30.
By 8:30.
You need to be
Yeah.
a half hour into work.
Yeah.
So I did that for about 30 days, and then like I started naturally waking up at 7:30.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then I did that for like another just about 25 days, and now I'm waking up at 7 o'clock. Well, I'm waking up at 6:50, but I'm getting out of my bed by 7
Right by
o'clock every
7.
morning.
Yeah.
Getting stuff
But
done.
what I did was I kept my alarm at 8:30. So I'll be at work and I'll be working for damn near an hour
Right,
and
your
shoveling
alarm goes
everything,
off.
and my alarm goes off. I'm like, what? And it made me realize
It made you
that's
think
what
about how
time
much
I was
you've been doing.
Exactly, how
Like,
much
I
I
got
haven't
all
been
that
doing.
done.
I've been thinking about that too. I get
Yeah.
up. This is the
was
first
like-
time I haven't worked like midnight shift.
That is a reminder, bro.
Yeah.
When you have your old alarm on at the
Yep.
time that you used to wake up, and
Yeah.
then it goes off, and you already been working for like the last hour and a half.
Yeah.
You already ready for another shower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By that time, and
Yeah.
then
It's so
then it
fucking-
goes off. It's a reminder, like, well, like shit, I was
Yeah, like
pissing
this
off
is
a lot of-
late. Like
Well,
I'm
this is-
ready for
yeah,
lunch.
Exactly.
It's so fucking funny you mentioned that because I remember it was Sunday night and we were laying down to bed and I always check my alarm and I realized, oh, tomorrow's the first day of vacation. And I turned that alarm off.
Yeah.
And I felt a wave of comfort come rolling over me like I have never felt.
We were still up early,
Yeah, like I don't care.
and we didn't go to bed
was just
till
like
way late that
the
night.
symbology of turning that alarm off
Yeah.
and me not having to worry about like going to work for it's like 9
9
days.
days.
I'm like, oh, I get to do shit with all my favorite people like, for like
Go on adventures.
nonstop. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
vacation's sweet.
I'm not
I
gonna
love
lie.
it.
I was one of the types of people too, though, that was like, sleep until like 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Oh,
When
see,
I
I've
wake up,
never been like that.
I was
Not
I
3
was
or
like,
4. I can
when
I
I
can
wake
probably
up, it's
maybe
like-
do 10 or 11.
That's like
Yeah.
if I was up
Yeah.
till 6, like
Yeah.
out till 6, got
Yeah.
home, went
that's
to
what
bed
I'm
at
saying, and
9.
I was that was
That
that
got
was
home
just
9
my
in the
life,
morning.
though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That was just my life at that point. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Just like, how am I gonna get fucked up today was my goal.
right.
Yeah, and
You
you know
know?
what? And that's
Like I was
another
doing
thing.
music, but I think I didn't really start taking the shit as seriously as I am now since like until about a year ago. I started getting like, dude, I put over $1,000 into just merch alone last year,
Right.
and we did tours, and and I'm just, it's really cool to see that your positive energy and you're like fucking, because not talking shit on a lot of people, but a lot a lot of people in this area specifically are cool with just not really doing anything.
that's why
you
this
know,
area
and it's
sucks.
heartbreaking. You
That's what
know,
I'm saying. But the thing
They
is,
became okay. They became okay with being okay.
exactly. Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
always like, it's
and there's
just
nothing
always
wrong with
something.
that. That's fine if that's what you know. That's okay, but you know, it's
But when
because
it's
I can't pass
everybody
judgment
everywhere,
on anybody.
it's a lot, and it's easy. Like the thing is, like, I spent a lot of time just being like super negative, and like it was as miserable as you are. Like it's easy. It's still
very easy to be
easier than
negative.
trying. Like even though you're happier when you're trying, like being miserable is just so much easier.
Yeah,
So people just fall into
Well,
that,
and
and it's a trap.
really like while you're miserable, it seems like being positive requires energy,
And it seems
really
impossible.
it does, but it doesn't. Once
Right.
you get into
Yo.
the routine, it's
I just thought about something you just said. So you're basically saying if it's easier to be miserable.
It is.
So with it being easier to be miserable, that's why people spend a lot of their resources on unnecessary things to have that temporary happiness
Right,
while
because
they're
it's something
miserable.
right now.
And that's why. And you know what? You might just fix the problem at the world right now.
They
it's,
don't-
it's
Because
really
it's
just
true.
like get your
Right.
fix of feeling okay. Get that fix.
Yeah,
of
Yeah, it's like
feeling
a
happy.
drug.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly. So it's like you're
You're in pain, you take
miserable,
that
you're
pain
not
pill,
happy, and whatever the case is. But it's not like you know that you're that miserable because you're still living life in a sense. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you're down here and then you're living life, and then you see a lot of people like they'll go do something drastic like buy a $30,000 car and they know they can't really afford it to
Yeah.
pay payment.
Yeah.
That's just temporary happiness.
and
And
then
they're
they're
miserable.
so miserable, they use that as the reason they're miserable when their car gets repoed.
And that puts,
Exactly.
And
Like,
that
it's
puts
just
so
like
much
they-
more
they
weight on your
create-
misery in the long
Right.
run. You know.
Right.
I
And
know
now
They think
people-
that repo is just a bad thing that happened to them,
because
but they don't
it's their
see
fault.
that. Yeah,
It
In
was
the
this
long run.
impulse to feel better for what
Temporarily.
4 months so it gets repoed or whatever. You make
Yeah.
the first payment and then you'd miss a couple. But like those people, that's what they do. Like I know people like that, and it's so hard because they just create their own problems.
Yeah, and then it's like you and then you want to, in a sense, you have empathy, but it's like me, it's hard for me to sympathize.
And they don't take
if I
help.
understand already. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If
But
I
like they don't, they want to be a business because it's easy. They don't want to put the work in. Anybody can put work in and not be miserable, but that's hard.
But
Like that's tough.
but think about this, like, and so these are friends, right? So let's say you have friends and you yourself, because this is kind of where the position that I'm getting into. I'm going to make myself very successful.
Right.
Facts. So the friends that I'm telling about the things that I want to do and all this other stuff, when that happens in the next 5 or 6 years or however long it takes, and they're still on a level that they were at, do you just automatically bring them up to where you're at in what you built for the last 7 years,
I mean, they
or
gotta,
do you make them work their way up?
You got to give them opportunities, and it's up to them.
I think
to take
that's
those
the trick.
opportunities.
Is you don't give them the whole
I
thing.
think and that's my opinion.
say,
you got to open the door for them, but you can't just pay their rent. Like I could, say you get to where you want to be in 5-6 years, you could get at the point to where you could offer them a job maybe. You know?
That's what I'm saying, because
And if they want to take that job, fine. But if they don't want to take that job, you can't offer a job every other week.
you can't make someone be a hard worker.
Yeah.
And that's the
and
thing
that's
is, when
what I'm
you
saying.
hire friends, you got to be ready to fire friends. Like you got
This
to
is
be
true.
ready.
They have to
True.
come in with the
That's-
understanding
that-
the
That's
bus-
scary. You
that's-
got to be ready for
That's
that.
real. That was good. I like
Like,
that.
When you clock in, we're not friends right now.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, but that's the thing. Like, people don't think about that. They don't think of when you hiring friends, you might have to fire
yeah,
friends.
like if
They,
it's, especially
that's-
your business.
Yeah.
Like that's your money that's,
That's-
leaving
that's
your pocket.
good. I
Like it's
like- I
scary.
like-
I've seen
Can't
that
be-
happen.
But you can't be afraid to do that because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, if they
Exact-
can't accept it's on
But
them,
you
then
need to
were
be
they really your friend?
cautious. You need to be cautious that it's a possibility
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
before you go into it. Because like I never even now, like with everybody that I'm working with and helping and this down the third to get into this, I'm thinking like, I never thought like shit. I might have to fire you if you
Yeah.
don't do what you're supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's
they start
crazy.
losing you money. Like
Yeah,
it's not a charity
common
at the end
business
of
first.
the day.
Yeah, it's the first thing that you should think about it, but I have
Yeah.
not thought about that once.
Dude,
That's
I worked
scary.
for a company, and it was owned by people like I knew, and I at one point there they had me certified to weld like girders that retractable roofs in like stadiums sat on, to like roll back and forth,
Yeah.
and I was certified to do that, and there was another guy who was friends with the vice president of the company, whose only qualification was
He was friends with the vice president of the company.
that, and he was forklift certified, which I also was, and I'm crane certified and welding certified.
Yeah.
I had been doing it for, at that point, probably 8 years. And layoff time would come around, and instead of laying him off, who had no other talents besides pushing a broom, everyone else would be first out the door before that man.
And that's
See,
bad
you
business.
can't let nepotism ruin your your company.
No, it's not.
you
It
know?
won't. It
Almost
won't.
like country.
And then now, just go back to what I said earlier when we first started this. Are you happy with the job that you're doing? What would you do when you wake up every morning for free? Now, what I say that for? Because you'll have happy workers. You're not a happy worker if you see that happening, right?
Oh, no.
No.
Right.
You
Because
get
you're
what
like,
I'm saying?
well, yeah.
So what does that do for his company?
Like, I'm just going to do
Made
the bare
everyone
minimum.
hate that place.
Yeah. And if everybody hate that place, that means your money's not going to look as good.
Right.
No,
You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that
he could not read the room. He didn't understand morale.
Just like
And that's the
you
thing,
gotta,
like, you got to have it. Like, I've even done that, like, because I was a manager a bunch of different places.
Mm.
And, like, I was a store manager, and I got bonuses. No one else in my store got bonuses. Like, I was the only person, because I was a store manager, that bonus. So, like, for every, like, $100 I bonused, I would put, like, so much in a pool, and they could split it, like, as their bonus.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was fair. Like, these are my girls that are here all day.
Yeah.
They're waiting on customers. They're selling stuff. So if I would buy like food to fill the fridge or like, and then they worked, every single one of them worked their hardest for
And
me.
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
and
it
that's
didn't.
what I'm saying.
It was like $30 that it was a bonus. It wasn't even like money I worked for. They worked for it just as much as I did.
Man, I listen to some of Buffett's like things in the morning, his speeches, his motivational speeches and stuff like that, and he just talked about like Enterprise and a couple other companies that and how before he bought it, the people who he bought the companies from, what they did to get to where they were at. And you wouldn't believe all of them said the exact same thing. It was customer service that was outdoing the customer service of the ones that were doing at the time they started. Like
Right.
Enterprise. Enterprise started after Hertz, started after
Right.
Budget, started after all them, but it's the best company right now.
yeah.
And
Because
see,
of
that's
what?
what like in retail, what we say is like, if people just wanted a product, they would shop online. They come here because they want
Yes.
service.
They
Like,
want to experience.
if they just wanted this one item, they would go online and buy it and have it shipped to their
Facts.
house.
In
But-
2018.
Yeah, like,
it's
and that's what like our mottos kind of turn it into. Like,
Yeah.
they come here because they want you to help them shop. They want you know what I mean?
Yeah.
they
So,
might
like-
need help figuring out exactly what they need.
Yeah,
too.
and like that's why we have to talk to them. Like,
yeah,
I mean, a lot of people are like, "Nope, I'm good," and I leave those people alone. I'm not that annoying person.
right.
You know what? What is it that you're passionate about?
I don't even know, honestly.
Like what could you do every day when you
Wake
wake
up
in the
happy.
morning
What can I do
happy?
every day, Vince? I don't know. Like as a job,
What would make you happy?
What would
Yeah.
make you happy?
every day.
If you got paid just the bare minimum enough to pay your bills and nothing else, what would you wouldn't mind doing?
Like what I wanted to do, like originally, was like teaching.
Okay.
Like that was my original passion. Was like, but I can't afford to be a teacher at the end of the day. So like, that was what I wanted to do from the time I was like in high school. I wanted to be like an algebra teacher because I loved algebra. I like teaching,
Not for $13 fucking now.
but not like I make
Mm.
more in retail than I would make as a teacher,
This is true.
and then have loans.
Okay.
So I think now, like, what my plan is, like, I'm in nursing school now. So I want to finish that and go and get my master's. Then I can teach nursing school with my master's.
You can teach nursing school with your master?
Yeah.
Wow.
I can teach, well, with my bachelor's, I can teach clinical. With my master's, I can teach theory. So I'd rather just get my master's, like, while I'm just
When you
working
said to
as a
teach, you mean
nurse.
like for kids?
No, like, I would teach, like, nursing school.
No, I'm talking about before when you said.
Yeah, I
What
wanted to do probably like middle school, like because that's like I took algebra in like 7th grade, and I was like done with my math credits before I even hit high school. Like I really liked math.
Nice.
I failed algebra geometry prep twice.
He failed algebra prep twice, like when I was in like calculus and
Yeah, I
algebra
was a
2.
freshman and sophomore. Twice.
and like
He
I just
said
really
twice.
loved it, and like The time that I like fell in love with math, I was in like 3rd grade, and I had the best math teacher ever, and like I still talk to her, like she's on my Facebook, and like I see her in stores, like she's my 3rd grade math teacher. She's like, that's when I loved math, so I still love her.
I think it's cool how like your idea, like you're using your passion to want to like educate people,
Right.
but it's ending up being the goal has ended up being like grander than you could have ever thought in the beginning.
And the thing too, like with nursing, like every single thing I learn in nursing, there's a teaching part of it. Like we have to like learn to be teachers because like doctors don't teach patients things. They walk in, they say what they have to say, they go. Like we walk in and say, okay, this is what you have to eat. Okay, this is how you take care of that. Okay, this is what you have to do when you get home. Like we actually do like roles where we have to teach, and like part of our clinical experience is teaching. So like just by being a nurse, you're a teacher. Like you have to be.
See, so being a nurse and I think being a doctor is 2 different things. Like with being a doctor and being a nurse, like a doctor is like a practicing for real. Like when they say it's a practice, like you practicing health or you practicing dentistry, like this.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing for sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's what I learned. I learned that. So it's like, yeah, you're right. Your job is more solid as far as
Yeah.
it goes to what you're supposed
A
to be doing.
roundabout. And then like we learn every single thing I learned like the psychological aspect of it. Like doctors don't care one bit.
they
They
don't
walk
get
in
it.
and say, you have cancer, you're looking at about 4 months. Have a good day. And
Get
then
it
they go to
sit-
the next room.
Exactly.
And then
the
I
nurse
come
come
in.
in there and wipe tears.
At that
and
point, though,
hold.
it's probably, they just get so numb to it.
Yeah, it's their
That's
job.
their
They just
job.
come in, they do their job. But
Probably
like
sucks for the first
our
couple
job,
years,
like I said, like we're taught like, okay, if someone like we have these things called nursing diagnosis. It's not
Yeah.
like a medical diagnosis, but it's something we can help them with. So
Yeah.
like we can walk in there and say, okay, this person had their leg amputated. Clinically, they're fine. They're
Yeah.
not bleeding. They have no infection. So I have no medical diagnosis for them other to get them like moving.
Yeah.
So I can walk in there and say, okay, my nursing diagnosis is you have a disturbed body image.
Yeah.
Because that's something that nobody else is acknowledging. Like, that's the thing. People get so in the hustle bustle. It's like, oh, it's another amputation.
Yeah.
He has no infection. We're fine.
Yeah.
And then I come in and I say, are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
and that's part of what we're taught. Like, we do everything. Like, we don't just walk in there and make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Like, we go through a whole list of stuff. So,
Right.
like, it is a lot more than people think.
Yeah.
And it is different than, like doctors are just, they have a job to do, they go do it.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal, too. But, like, at the same, like, we have to worry about all that stuff.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think, just circling back to the whole education thing, just when you were talking about education and wanting to be a teacher, I think it's pretty sad that, after all the schooling and everything you have to go through, you make
Yeah.
what I make now.
Right.
And I just move boxes and drive a truck. Like, that's
Yeah.
not a skill.
That's
That's
wild.
just
I don't
a
even
thing,
do
you
that.
know? And,
Like, I go
and that's
and I
kind of
work retail.
disgusting. And I think that's probably a big reason why I really do think that education in this country is a completely failed experiment. Like, we have to try something new because
And, like, the thing, too,
They tried
is
Common Core.
in retail, too, like, we have a lot of people that come and work for us in the summer and holidays that are teachers. They're people who work in schools, and they
Yeah.
have to have a second job.
yeah.
You know what really fucking ruined it though? Is that no kid left behind policy.
Yeah.
That is the absolute worst thing.
Yeah, they,
you
like,
could-
can't fail kids.
That's the worst fucking thing you could ever do to a
It
child.
had good intentions.
I mean, that's what happened to me, basically. I fucking
Yeah.
shouldn't have graduated.
No, I
You
shouldn't
know?
have either.
like, it had good intentions, but it needs to be revamped at this point, I think.
Absolutely.
Because you got a
Well,
bunch
no,
of
it
kids that
doesn't
are
need to be
ungrateful
revamped.
because they didn't have to work for it.
They should. I think fund schools better, get better
Oh, they should
teachers.
absolutely
we had
fund
a
schools
teacher
better.
in my high school when I was actually all through high school, and he worked there for 10, 15 years before I got there. He's gotten in trouble like probably 5 or 6 times in the 15 years that he's been there of sexually harassing his students.
Jesus.
Like he got found with pictures on his fucking phone of a chick up her skirt and
Like,
shit.
that needs
They
to be,
suspended
okay,
him with
you're
pay
done.
for 3 months, and he came right back. He
That's
still
a
works
deal. Like that, you
He
just
still
got a
works there.
3-month vacation.
Yeah, and he's a fucking creep. Like that dude is in my school. What the fuck do you expect to teach me when you got teachers running around? Like, I'm
Right.
not going to listen to these motherfuckers.
like,
There
you
were a
know
couple good
it.
teachers, but for the most part, I mean, half the teachers were there because they get 3 months off in the summer. They have the same lesson plan every year,
Because
and
they're
you're not
getting paid
learning shit.
nothing.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have motivation, so you don't get good teachers when you can't
But
afford
that's
it.
the thing is people will work for what you're paying them. Like if I'm getting paid minimum wage, I'll give you minimum wage
Yeah.
effort. Like if it's just like McDonald's, you know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
the problem with those places.
Well, that's where I think government funding can really benefit the whole country, because if we fix the education problem, that's going to solve like
Boost
50
everything
other
else.
problems,
Oh,
because
right.
we're going to
When you
have
start-
a much better educated country all around.
When you start cutting programs like music and art and everything, and you start taking any fun out of it,
Yeah.
and you're not enjoying anything you're
Yeah.
doing
Right.
because you're just getting the essentials.
Those are important too.
You're playing
yeah.
with a 20-year-old basketball because they're cutting gym class now.
Right.
Put
Dude.
it this way: when I was I was a horrible student, but I always did really well in language arts. I got straight A's and B's the whole time,
Yeah.
except
So
for
did I.
there was a couple years where I got straight F's in every class, but that's just because I'd fucking miss 2-3 days a week, no problem. But but I always, when I showed up, I was always getting A's and B's in language arts.
Yeah.
I wanted to take a Spanish class. I couldn't because all my math credits and shit were fucked up, and my
Yeah.
science credits. And right now in my life at 25, I'm a writer. I could have really used a creative writing course. I could have really
Right.
used Spanish. I could have
Yep.
used all kinds of, and I didn't get that because I wasn't a good mathematician. To this
Right.
day, other
don't
than
need
like the
that.
simple, addition, subtraction, multiply, divide, other than that, I don't use math.
Like we
I
have
think
to
most
do
people
math and
don't.
nursing. We do have like medical math we have to do.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, like this is the thing. I have an iPhone. Like I always have a calculator accessible pretty much. But like I get it, power goes out, somebody needs, an IV that's hung just by gravity. Like
Yeah.
But those math problems are like a quick math problem in your head. As long as you get
That's
like
what
the
the basic shit. I feel like, because I'm smart enough to make these decisions for the country. I think elementary should just be the phase of learning the basic shit.
Yeah.
Learn about the country, learn about basic math.
Right.
Learn basic science.
Right.
Don't eat poison and shit like that. and then they kind of gauge how well you're doing in these classes
And
and
then
your
figure it
attendance,
out.
and they figure out, his face lights up every time we pull out our reading books. You know what I mean?
Point
Okay, so
kids
maybe
towards things they're interested
yeah,
in.
maybe in middle school then we try these things
like,
and
that's the thing.
diversify
As
it
long
and
as
see,
you
and then
get the
focus. By the time we're in
basics-
high school, we get like a college level course in
Right.
something that we're actually interested in, still maintaining the basics, but spending.
Right.
I spent so many hours in a math class when I could have been in a creative writing class getting straight A's, and
Right.
it would have taught me a lot for what I needed in the future.
Right.
So I think just the whole education system to its foundation is fucked.
Oh, it
We're
absolutely.
still doing the
well,
same shit we were doing
there's
like
no
when everyone was riding on
resources.
horses.
Like,
we have that same setup. You
yeah.
know what I mean? It's never changed. And times are different. You know?
Yeah.
There's a lot more opportunity out there with a bigger population creates bigger opportunities.
And plus now, like the idea that like you have to go to like there's the whole like college versus trade school thing.
yeah.
And like learning a trade to me seems so much like right now.
Yeah.
Like you can't go and just do like people who get arts degrees.
Yeah.
What do you do with I don't understand what job you get with an arts degree.
Right. Well, an arts degree, I mean, the idea of an arts degree kind of fucks me up.
Like I don't
Like,
understand.
I think you get your art degree for me, I got my art degree in a van broken down outside of
Right.
Philadelphia trying to find
Like, it
my
would
way
be
home.
one
That's
thing
my
if,
master's
like-
in art. You know what I mean?
Like I get people go to like specialized places like okay, you get a degree in like you go work at like Disney and make characters and stuff. Like I understand that, but like people who just go to like shitty colleges and get like a fine arts degree.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
and,
know what those
you
people
majored
do.
in photography and minored in water painting.
Yeah,
They,
like, I
and
don't-
if you want to be a painter, if you already have the passion, let's say to be a painter, and you go to an art school and they teach you fundamental things that will improve you,
Yeah.
it very much has to be your
well,
own
that's
thing.
what
But
I mean. Like if
cost-
that's
cost
really
and
what you're doing,
risk and reward is so high.
yeah,
in
that's
that.
how I feel too, and that's why like. Or
But
like
going for
people-
something like in medicine or business or something
Right.
like that, that's always going to be
That's
useful.
knowledge. Like you're
Yeah,
buying that
that's,
knowledge.
That's genuine knowledge, and that's always going to be useful.
And that's the thing. Like that's what I was telling Vince. Like I have so much more knowledge now than I had a year ago. Like, it's, like, no matter what, like, pass or fail school, like, I know everything that I know now, and that's
Yeah.
a crazy more amount than I had last year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like I'm impressed with everything you've done with school because I don't know how you've crammed that much knowledge
I don't
into your
either.
skull that fast.
I don't either.
And like thinking about you teaching more and more, it makes sense because you're a great student.
I wing it. I wing it and I
Do you
cry
find
a
it
lot.
easier or harder as going to school in your 20s versus going to school as a kid?
Like, right now, like, I struggle with balance. Like, I have a hard time, like, if I don't see my kids for 4 days.
Yeah.
Like, I struggle with that.
Right.
And, like, the guilt, like, I don't make money.
Yeah.
Like, Vince makes all the money and pays all our bills. Like, and if I see, like, oh, he wants something and we don't have the
So
money, I
peripheral
feel
shit.
terrible.
There's actual peripheral
like,
shit.
I have real problems. You know, I have to worry about childcare and, like, not seeing my kids and, like, just feeling guilty about all of it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel and there's a job.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not, like, I'm less than 1 year away.
Like
Yeah.
a forever job.
Like, a forever job that I can go anywhere.
Career.
So I
Yeah.
think that's part of it, too, is, like, my degree can travel wherever I go.
Yeah.
I would just have to get licensed in those states, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Vince's job can go wherever we decide to go. So I think, like, that helps me to be like, okay, in 1 year, I could literally do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely more focused.
Yeah, but like general, so that's what I was getting to, like the focus and the general, like day to day being in the classroom. Is it like, fuck, I want to be at home playing video games, you know, or is it more like, just like, I don't know, this is fine.
Like, I'm more like, this is fine. Because, like,
Yeah.
I don't really have a life.
Yeah.
So, like, there's not, like, oh, so-and-so has this going on today. Like, it also helps, like, I'm in nursing school with, like, 2 of my super close friends.
Yeah.
So that helps, like,
Oh, I imagine that.
that's the
helps
only
a
time
lot.
I see them.
Yeah.
Because we're always so busy. Like, so sometimes going there is, like, a treat. Like, you get
Yeah.
to see them.
Right.
And, like, at the end of the day, like, I like learning. Like, sometimes I get so stressed out. Like, the curriculum is stressful.
Yeah.
But, like, there's times I'll, like, study stuff with Vince, and he'll, like, the other day, like, we knew someone that got sick, and I was like, what's his symptoms? And he told me, and I was like, I bet this is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was.
That's cool.
So I'm like, I love having, like, to learn those things. And
Yeah.
then, like, I learn them, and then I see them in real life, and I'm like, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's a crazy amount that just, like, circles around. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
To know-
Yeah.
It's cool to know shit.
I want to go back to school, but it's like I never studied. I
Right.
never did homework. I never.
See, this is my
I
problem.
was never paying attention.
I struggle with that a little bit now, studying sometimes, just
Yeah.
because, like, I have so much going on all the time. And what I have to do, like, I'm cramming over 4 years worth of a program into 2 years.
Yeah.
So, like, it's so fast paced. Like, you have lecture Monday, finish lecture Tuesday, your test is coming.
Yeah.
And then you have clinical Wednesday, Thursday, your test on Monday, and I have a job and I have kids.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just balance is the hard part for me.
Right.
Is I just get super stressed.
Yeah.
I've thought about like doing schooling too, like when you're done, like I would think about doing like online music production school. Because
Would that pay off though?
um
Or would it be better to just like
Spiritually.
Okay, I mean, I didn't know if it's like better to just like find some dude that does it and just like become bros.
like mentor.
Yeah.
No, like long-term goals, like with music production, the more I think about it, like I think about doing things like being the guy that we needed coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the guy like you said, pouring so much money into like touring and whatnot. Like you don't have the money to pour into an EP. You know what I mean? Or just like studio time.
Yeah.
Or like, but if some dude was out there like willing to work with you and not do it for free,
Yeah.
but like not kill.
Affordable.
That's the situation I have right now.
Yeah, but
with-
like if you could go to someone's like garage garage studio they built,
Exactly. Yeah.
and he could put out a decent fucking product and not kill you.
Right.
Like-
Well, that's what I got now, but I have to go all the way to Pittsburgh for it.
Yeah.
But he's very good at it, and he only does bands that he wants to do. Actually, he just did one. I can't remember who it was, but he did a band's EP, and they just got signed to a major label.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like that's
like
rad.
he's very
and plus
good.
it's like that's what you'd want to wake up and do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the shit I would do for
But
free.
he
That's what I
won't
mean.
record anybody he doesn't like.
Well, and that's
like,
what
if
he
he
would
doesn't like the
do.
music, he will not record you.
That's probably
And-
what he would do. Like if he didn't like the person or the music, like he might do it if he didn't like the music. But if
Yeah.
he like, because there's music that like I don't like, but I appreciate.
Right.
It's still talented. Doesn't mean I like it.
But I could sit out there and I can also do my own thing.
Right.
I could write music for like other people. Like I could write stuff for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Record AJ.
Yeah.
Record AJ's band.
Do AJ's acoustic country project. like there's a lot of things I could do with it and a lot of fun I can have.
Yeah. And like you already have like a decent amount of equipment.
Oh yeah, like
So
I'm
it's not even like a huge investment at this point.
like I'm like this close to just getting a hold of like people I see on Facebook that are like posting like acoustic guitar videos and everything, and being like, listen, dude, if you can come down here and tolerate me figuring this out,
Right.
I'll record you for free.
Right.
And like I'll give you an EP. All you have to do is deal with me learning.
Right. And like that's a deal. People might be okay with that. Like if you throw it out there, that's an experience for both of you.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it's like a trade. People are willing to do that, especially when they're not like big. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
they need it, you need it. You might as well get something out of it.
I know you could actually like every time when we write stuff, we always have Alex record it like on his phone of him playing his unplugged electric, and we send that out and we fuck with that. But I'm sure it'd be much easier much
Bring
better
up.
to set up a mic in here, plug him into an amp, and have him play it like that. I feel
Yeah,
like it'd
like
be 10 times
timed
better.
out.
Yeah,
Or I could even add MIDI drums.
yeah,
Like
Come down, have him come down one
Yeah.
day.
for sure.
Like I said, he's not allowed to do the podcast, but like I record him. He's a phenomenal guitar player.
Yeah,
He's cut off.
We have one big show a year called the Birthcast, and it's a birthday celebration of us. And our friend, like maybe halfway through it, fucking a guy that was there as my guest walked into our friend's house.
This wasn't our house. We were
Yeah.
at someone else's house.
Because if it was my house, I'd been like, that's okay. But like he threw up an event.
Because he threw up like projectile
Like, all
on-
over
like
the
there was a vent
bathroom.
on the wall and he threw up into said vent
Oh.
and like yacked all over her bathroom.
After I like begged him, like I told him explicitly, this is not a get fucked up kind of ordeal. Like I
And-
need people to be able to talk.
AJ runs up. He's like, "Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out!" He's like pushing him. It was like a kidnapping. Like you snatched him.
no,
up.
that's not what happened. I
You
remember.
snatched him up, and you guys were in the van and out of the driveway.
No, I kicked him out.
Yeah,
Did you? Was it you?
Yeah, I
yelling?
told
Yeah, that
AJ he
wasn't
has to
me.
get him out of here right now.
You were
Yeah.
yelling.
Yeah.
You guys were gone so fast.
yeah.
Dude,
I was like,
I
"Hup,
didn't
time to
even know
leave."
what. I didn't even know someone threw up, and I saw you guys pull out of the driveway.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
I
it all
was-
happened pretty
well,
fast.
I was half lit too, and I was getting real fucking mad.
Yeah, you're real mad.
because he just would not quit fucking talking either. Like he was like belligerent.
Because you didn't know he threw up. I texted you.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, Alex puked."
So like I got pulled out of the podcast for like an hour dealing with this. Because this podcast is also like 3 hours long, and it's a marathon of all of our favorite guests.
Yeah.
So like everybody just comes and sits down for like 10 minutes at a time, and like one person will get up, and another person will take that spot, and then another person will get up, and we just 10 people just do a podcast like that.
Nice.
So like the conversation is just supposed to keep going. But like there's a couple people that just got way too fucked up in the beginning and like, just weren't feeling it.
That was the whole problem. Was everybody got way too trashed, way too fast.
yeah.
That's always the problem.
And
though.
then this happened and like I'm gone for like an hour. Like so like I come back and button it up like 20 minutes later and the numbers of this podcast were so dismal and we are just now trying to recover. Like and that was like back in March.
Okay.
But like they're starting to come back up now. Especially like that post, like the post that my normal co-host put up, like where he announced he was taking a hiatus. Like it got us a couple more views because that was also like the week that he took over at his spot for the show.
Yeah.
And so like we do really well on Facebook. because of that. Like,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. Like that got a couple eyes turned towards us. Like they're like, I don't know if they expected there to be drama of some sort.
Yeah.
But it's just he was burnt out
Drama
and he
always
needed
brings in
he needed to take
views.
a couple weeks off, and that's his issue. Like that's totally understandable, man. I understand it. Like people can't share my passion and like go to like all the time. I get it. Like you become complacent and you're not as talkable on the show and just shit
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
man. And I understand that. That's
That kind of sucks because I always like really enjoy talking to Josh, whether it's on or off the podcast. I really like hanging
yeah,
with
he's a great
Josh.
guy. Like I went and saw him Sunday.
Yeah,
Like I haven't like we don't like text or anything too much later at too much lately rather. But like dude's still great. He's he's just he's at a different point in his life, He's working a lot again. I think he's just I don't know.
yeah,
Needed to take a fucking breath.
yeah. Sometimes
Amen.
you need that.
Listen, my show goes on. Like there hasn't been 1 week
And that's cool of him
in
to,
26 months that I have not done this show. Hell or high water, I will put something out. If I have to sit out here by my fucking self and stare at like news articles and just bullshit and vent about it, I'll fucking do that if I have to.
Yeah. And that's cool too. How he's not one of those guys that's like, oh, I don't want you doing anything without me, but I need
Yeah.
a break. Like there's people like that out there. That's just ugh. I don't know if it works like that. So that's really cool that he's not.
Yeah,
You
dude,
know.
dude. If the end of August rolls around and he decides, you know what, like I'm okay without it, I fucking get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he this was his. It was his baby too. He was like he's one of those dudes that always like played guitar, but he was never in bands and everything. It just I don't know if he just didn't dedicate himself to it enough, or he just didn't pursue it. But he's always like he's always like wanted like a passion or a niche like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was really into it, and I think he just at some point just got burnt out. So it's whatever.
Yeah. And that sucks. I've never really been. I've been pretty lucky to find what I want to do early in life, and even more lucky to have I don't know what it is, but like I can't not do this. There's no way around it. I can't not do my music.
I'm one of those people that I need to create.
Yeah.
I need to make something, like, even if it's just me out here with my friends and like we have fights up on the screen and we just sit here and we bullshit and make each other laugh or just debate things. Like, that makes me feel good. That keeps my mind right every week.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I feel like I think it's a sense of accomplishment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's why I do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's rewarding to do things.
It
you know,
is.
if you actually put your mind to something and accomplish something, it's very rewarding.
See, that's
You
why,
know,
like, I started becoming more impulsive.
Yeah.
And that's usually not a good thing, but, like, I don't do anything ever because I'll sit there and I just think. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, this could, like, I'm a bad, like, worst case scenario person.
Yeah.
You talk yourself out of it.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to go to school because I'm like, well, when I fail,
Yeah.
like, that's going to be worse than
then
never
I'm
going
gonna
to
have
school.
this debt and
Right.
yeah.
Like, I just,
Then
like,
you-
worst case. So I don't do anything ever, like, in my entire life. But, like, the last couple years, it's, like, going places. Like, I go all kinds of places because I'm like, that
You're
sounds
allowed.
cool. And then I just buy a ticket.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going now.
Yeah.
That happens.
Is that what spurred the DC trip then?
Yeah, like, I was like, we talked about it, like, oh, we want to go to DC. And I was like, oh, well, guess where we're going.
Yeah.
And I
that's
just,
pretty
like,
cool.
booked a hotel and we
Yeah.
went.
I've done that a couple times. I went to New York quite a few times just on that, and I've played there. a few
Vince went
times
to
and-
New York one time. Like, his friends
With
called
you.
him.
Yeah, with
I'm with-
us.
Oh, yeah, was
with
that with
me.
you? Yeah. And he was like,
he called me
"Can I
one
go?"
He called me at one afternoon, like at 3:00 in the afternoon. He's like, "Hey man, you want to go to New York?" And I just gotten together with Ruby. Like we were maybe dating 4 months, and I looked at her. I was like, "My friends want me to go to New York," and she's like, "Go."
I was like, why would you not go?
because I'm one of those people like her that I don't do things.
Because that's what he was like, well, I don't have a lot of money. And I was like,
I was
think
like,
I had
neither
like,
do we.
I think I had like $40 in my wallet. And I was like, you can have my $40,
Yeah.
and he just went to New York.
No, I just
Came back the next day.
The night before, I was talking to my friends about whatever, and I was just like, man, and somehow the subject of New York came up, and I was kind of like starting to find that like I want to actually do shit, you know, and I'm like, let's go to New York, and a couple of them didn't go, and a couple of them did, and
That's how
it was like,
I don't know. We always do that. We always say, "Oh yeah, but
You
this."
travel everywhere.
I've been on a plane like 12 times. This
I've
year.
Really?
never,
Yeah.
I've never
Holy
once
shit.
been on a plane.
Yeah.
I've been on a plane once. We had a one-off show in Atlanta. That was my first time trying to book a tour.
Yeah.
Every other date fell through, and I was like, it's actually cheaper if we just get a
Just get a
ticket
plane,
for the
yeah.
weekend. So
It's actually cheaper to fly than it is to catch a bus now.
Yeah.
Really?
It's crazy.
It's weird.
It takes a quarter of the time.
Yeah, and it takes a quarter exactly.
My goal after I'm done with school is to get us all passports, and then whenever I just get like this weird urge, I can be like, let's go to Holland. And we're going.
I'm on that same. I'm on that
Like,
same
what?
tip.
Because then we'll have
my
like
cousin does
okay
that.
money.
He just went to Bali. He was in
Yeah.
Thailand. He went to Bangkok, Thailand.
I mean,
He
obviously
went to,
we're not like floating in money, but you could find cheap trips,
That's
and
what
you
I'm
can
saying.
live for cheap other
Shoot,
places.
people go to the club every weekend and they don't have money to be in the club.
Right. It doesn't matter.
You know, if you want to do something, you'll find a way to do it if you're serious about it.
That's
Yeah.
why, like, that's the worst part is, like, right now it would take me 2 weeks to get us passports, cost $1,000, you know what I mean? But if I just take care of that, every time we want to go somewhere, we just go.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just going to need another stamp.
Yeah, like, even just, like, Canada.
Right.
Like, we can't go to Niagara Falls. Well, you can go to this side, you can't go to the other side.
Literally, all I would
You
ever
could go to Toronto and shit. Toronto's not that far from here at all.
Right, like, we could just zoom up there for
It's
the
like 4 or
weekend.
5 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
would
just as far, like, I
love-
drove further to Washington.
I would love to just fly into Las Vegas for like 3 days.
Yeah.
2-3 days. Maybe like
I'm not big on Vegas.
no, like I don't even care if I went by myself.
Yeah.
If I just hopped
I used
on
to
a-
do that. I've done that before.
See-
I've caught an Allegiant flight to Nevada with a book bag.
Yeah.
I went out there and I stayed out there for 2 nights, and
Just
I
came
turned
back?
right back. It just came.
Yeah.
Like I just and then like cause I was telling another friend of mine about this. I was telling him like, yo, how many times you like you give it a bunch of friends like, all right, hey, look. At the end of the month, we're gonna go
Right.
here.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all get
Never
all these
do.
plans. On that
Yeah.
first day, y'all sitting around and smoking, and then the 15th come around.
Right.
You say we're gonna do this on the 30th. The 15th come around.
Nobody mentioned it.
Nah, it's like you got maybe like 7 people that stayed in it.
Yeah.
By the first, you're the only one there.
Right.
Yep.
You're the only one.
Yeah.
The one dude, he was serious with you the whole way. You know, from day
Yeah.
1 to the end, and he dropped out because ain't nobody else showed
Right.
up.
But like even with us, like we used to not even go anywhere. Like I just started buying like tickets for stuff on impulse. Like it was his birthday one year, and I bought us like front row tickets to a Pens game. Like I had a few extra bucks. Like we just went, and then
That's
like
how it's
comedy
supposed to be.
shows. Like
But
we just I realized too things don't cost as much as I thought they did.
no.
Like comedy shows, like I always thought, like, oh, we can never afford to go to a comedy show. It was like $70 for the both of us,
Yeah,
and
and
like
that-
you don't even have to eat there or anything, like, because we're
Nope.
super cheap. So
Yeah.
like,
Oh, we're super cheap too.
You gotta
Believe it,
be.
like and that's the thing. Like I tell people like I was just saying earlier, if you're disciplined with your money, you'll have more money to spend.
right?
Yeah.
Like if you watched every nickel that went out, you'll be like, oh my god, like,
Yeah.
I'm spending a shit ton. You know what I found out I was spending a shit ton of money on? Fast food.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
we quit
Yep.
eating
Man,
I quit eating
I'm
fast
thinking,
food 2 months
How much
ago.
how much money have you
a
guys saved?
decent amount.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't
'Cause
blame
every day, like $10.
I don't blink at buying good steaks now because of how much money I save from
You
not eating
save
out.
money from buying better.
Yeah.
If you buy, you can get a fat, big ass steak
Yeah.
Yeah.
for less than what you're going to
Yeah.
spend if you go out and
At
get it.
fucking Burger King.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Especially like there's 4 of us, like
And
we go
then-
out to eat.
that's all like that's food with no density in it.
Right, you're hungry.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not. You're not gonna eat that
No
one
nutritional
time.
value.
That's what I'm saying.
You eat it, you feel
So
like
you
shit
eating
for an
more
hour, then you're
of some
hungry
bad
again.
shit for you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was just disciplined with everything. Disciplined with food. You'll control what you know. You will be able to be what you want to be. The discipline
Right.
with money. You'll
And
have
that's
more
what
money
it
to
is.
spend.
I quit smoking cigarettes last October. I used to smoke a pack and a half a day. One day I quit cold turkey.
Me too.
Yeah.
Last October.
Yeah? No shit.
Real shit.
Whoa.
That's
Don't you
Oct-
feel like you got a third lung now?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like, like I don't know. I think what it was my boy has asthma. So
That'll do it. Yeah.
whenever he would get sick,
Yep.
you know, I would talk shit about his dad. Like, why do you know, why is you smoking around him? I'm smoking around him too. Not even knowing it, not smoking in in the same
Not
house or
blowing
anything,
it in
but,
his face
But
and
if you're
shit,
out
yeah.
and it's in your clothes
Yeah,
and
they
you go in the
can't
house,
have an
it's
attack.
still they said that still can give you cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Just from the
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
the
from the
fumes that's
air,
coming
yeah.
off of it. So like I told Rachel, and I was like, you know, we need to just quit. Like she still vapes, but I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than leaving that smoke in your
Yeah.
Right.
And then
there's-
now, you know how nasty it smell when you get around somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
would have never smelt it.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
before, I'm like, damn, I walked through, I smell
Even
like
like
Yeah.
if I'm somewhere like even outside, like if I'm on someone's porch, they're smoking, I'm not like I go home and I smell it like in my hair.
Yeah.
And, like we're not even in a room. Like,
That's
I
what
can't
I'm saying.
imagine.
It made me think too, because like I'd be at my grandma's or whatever, I'd smoke a cigarette and go in the house and eat dinner, and it's like, holy shit, nobody there smokes.
And
So I'm
then-
just
you're
stinking up my
"Oh
fucking
God."
grandma's house
and that's
like
how
that.
I
You
know,
know what I
I'm
mean?
not going to get away with smoking weed with you guys. Like, I'm not going to get away with it because when she goes home, she has that nose now.
Yeah.
You know,
and even like when you quit smoking, like you can taste better, like all your senses get
yeah,
better.
everything.
Because that messes you
Well, I
up.
got really into hiking for a
Yeah,
while,
that's
and
good
I
for
was
you.
smoking, and I just like I can't do this
can't
anymore.
breathe.
I can't do this shit anymore. I got to give one up, and I just I liked hiking too much, and I haven't gone in a couple months, but I'm trying to go out. I find new trails that I never knew was a
Yeah.
thing. Like that's my favorite thing to do. Like go find a new trail,
Go
figure out what's
explore.
up. Sometimes they suck. Sometimes they're like the coolest shit
Right.
you've ever seen. You know, I love going on hikes and fishing and shit. Like just doing outdoorsy shit.
We need to set something up, man.
Right.
For sure, dude.
But you know, that's why okay. So when we went to Florida, we went to Guinea Springs. I think she told you guys
It was
about
so
it.
nice there.
You guys would have loved it.
It looked
We
so
we
pretty.
literally sat on a tube and drifted down the river for like 50 minutes.
That's
Like real
what's
talk
up.
in
That's
the
awesome.
rain.
Yeah.
In the rain.
That's
Like, tell me
honestly,
how,
I
like,
would think that's even better. I love the rain personally. I'm like you're out on the water.
you're
anyway.
already on the
Doesn't
water.
give a-
Like you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
Fucking
we're
matter.
in the rain, it's raining. You know, rain's cold as shit. we ain't even so like when we got there, we hadn't even got in the water yet,
Yeah.
and we jumped in the tube and headed downstream. And then it started raining, so when you don't get in the water first,
Right.
like
Yeah,
them rain,
it's
you
cold.
feel every drop. That
Oh,
drop,
yeah,
so you know what I
yeah.
mean. So we started drifting down. We're like, oh my god, it's cold out here. But then it was like almost like a
You get used to it.
Yeah,
once
it's
your
like-
body
you
acclimates
just
to it,
relax,
it's fine.
man.
Yeah.
And then you're watching the water. Yeah, it's dope. Yes.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what? We're setting it up. I don't want to hear it.
I'm down, dude. I'm
We're
fucking
setting
down.
it up, man. And then we had these They had hammocks all out there. It's
Yeah.
like, come on, I want to go to sleep like the Avatar too.
Yeah, my dude's got a spot out on one of the there's a bunch of islands in the between the river, and there's one specifically like right between East Liverpool and Chester, West Virginia, and there's plots out there that people rent, and my dude's grandpa owns a plot out there.
Wow.
So for like a whole summer, and he has like a little boat. We'd go over like 10 p.m. Just go over there, have a fire, drink some beers, not worry about shit.
Yeah.
Don't have to be quiet because I live in like East End, so there's like people everywhere, and like most people are cool, but like can't have a fire and shit. Like I can't, and I
know,
love
it's
doing that
weird,
shit,
man. That's why, that's why I told Rachel like this could never be like our forever house
Forever, yeah.
because my forever house. I have to be like, hey, to my
Yeah.
neighbors.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I don't want to be.
exactly.
I don't want to have neighbors that can look from their top floor into my backyard.
Right.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
It feels weird, and I like people, man, but it's just like I like having my own personal space.
Yeah,
And
me
you
too.
know,
and
I'd
even
like
when we
I'd like
got-
about 40 yards in between us.
yeah
That
well,
at least.
I need
at
that's wait you said yards. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah I can deal with yards. 40 yards would be good.
Yeah.
That's like almost half a football field
I'm really
Yeah,
wanting to
that's
get a
fine.
fucking
We can
plot
live
of
with that.
land down in
on both sides
Johnstown.
and in the back.
Right. Like I would need it to be around.
That's
I
like-
need it
like how my dad's is.
Yeah, I
but
like
I would
that.
still need like your dad's is way too open. I would still want like a privacy fence.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, but just
I need to.
just anywhere.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm still like
He's
real.
so polite. Everyone else is like, I gotta take a piss.
Oh, take a piss. Yeah,
Got a mess.
I'm really dead set on like buying a plot of land in Johnstown. That's probably not going to happen as soon as I would like to, but I mean, I was looking at a house down in Columbus in like the artsy area for like
Yeah.
80 grand. It had 3 bed, like it had everything I want, and I was thinking about just like adding on to it.
Right. That's the thing is like
Like-
I'm willing to buy something I'm not in love with if there's room to add on.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of what I'm wanting to do. I want to add on to it and then resell it and hopefully get my plot of land in the
Right.
in the country.
And, like I was even looking at like those modular homes. Like if you get land for a good price, that's the way to go.
I don't give a fuck. I'll get land and I'll live in a fucking single wide trailer. As long as I have land, as long as I got at least 2 acres, I'm happy. That's my bare minimum.
But like,
is 2
have you
acres.
seen those that like you can have them design? They just bring them in a truck.
Get those fucking tiny houses.
I don't want a tiny. I want a big house. I need a large house.
I'll live in
One
a
of those
fucking
ones that just
trailer.
clamp together
I
in the
just,
middle
I
and
would
set it
just,
on a
but I would
foundation.
for
Fuck
sure.
yeah, that's what I want.
Like one big thing I want to do when I get the plot of land is build a barn with a stage and shit in it and start having shows.
Yeah, and
Because
that's like-
Johnstown's 30 minutes from downtown
right, you could
Columbus.
do all, that's like with him with like
Yeah,
the,
I
like
can
the
bring
door
people,
shut.
and we could have like full on, just like at least once a
it's
year,
hard.
throw a big
Yeah,
show,
it is.
have people stay over like a
Yeah,
mini
that'd be
Skatopia type deal.
Yeah.
That'd be so sick. That's my like. That's the. I wake up in the morning. That's what I see. You know.
And, like you can make money weird ways. Like this is a good business venture for you. Like me and my friend were talking the other day. Like people right now, like you know how people have like barn weddings and like those rusticy outside weddings.
Mhm.
Well, people are paying for these barns for like their wedding day, like $5,000-$8,000
For what?
to have a like to rent the space
Yeah.
to have a wedding like in a barn. I'm like, if I had property, you build a super nice barn, you're getting like 8,000 to 10,000. How many? You have a wedding there every weekend for 3 months. Like that's like why I wish I had a barn.
So that's what you would like do. That's what you would like to do.
That would be easy money.
Or 2
like, you
times
would
a
just-
week.
Yeah, like
Honestly,
you
I would
just
build the
make,
stage,
like,
and on top of having like shows once or twice a
you
year,
could do shit like
I would
that.
rent it out to other bands who like, yeah, if your
Yo.
work schedule makes it to where you can only practice at 1 a.m.,
like
come
it.
out to my place.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, that's like my
It could be
fucking like
multi-purpose.
that's my 5-year plan right now.
See,
Get
I
to that.
I had an idea to to just rent some land out
Uh-huh.
for mud bogging. I like, 'cause
Like
I
that
love
would,
it.
the,
Oh,
insur-
yeah?
You know
the
what I mean?
insurance would be sky
So-
high. though.
Like,
Yeah.
just go out and pretty much like and put warning signs, everything. Hey, look, your
Yeah.
car, you will get fined if your car gets stuck.
Yeah,
If your truck,
Yeah.
if your side by side gets stuck, you will be fined.
Right.
yeah,
We will tow it out ourselves.
You would just have,
got to
like-
sign a waiver.
yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think the trick with everything is to be like, make sure there's rules. Like if you show up hammered drunk,
Yeah.
we're done.
Yeah.
Like you would just
Yeah.
need like that's with anything.
Yeah.
Like you start acting crazy, like you're gonna kill somebody. Get
That's
out.
what I'm saying. I was thinking about opening up something like that. Just some different things to make your land work
right.
the way that naturally works. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Right.
So like what people, because I know I've looked for plenty of mud out here, have not found a patch. But they
Right.
have mud. I know it's here. You know what I mean? Like I know it's here. It's just I don't
'Cause
know.
you could even put like bathrooms and make it people could go camping on it.
That's
or
anything,
Like,
anything.
you own land, you could do
You know,
whatever.
have them dig a deep ass footer straight to China, and you just put some water in it. Now
Yeah.
you got a whole pond.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not rocket science.
Or rent it out for like the pipeliners to park their RV on.
Yeah.
Run electric
yeah,
and
like
plumbing out there.
anything.
Anything.
Right.
You
Run
got,
electric
like-
and plumbing out there, charge them $200 a week.
That's what I mean. Like you pop a bathroom up somewhere.
No, you run water lines so they can hook their RV up to it.
Yeah, that's
And
true,
like
yeah.
outlets
Like an
where they
RV
can plug
park.
that thing in and get power.
Yeah.
money out here in this
Yeah.
area. But yeah, man, it's just about little things like that. But and then people just don't understand that it's not as hard as it is.
That's what I mean. Like when I do shit, I'm like, it's not that bad.
It seems
Like,
so
it's
big
fine.
because you haven't even started,
Started.
but once you get started, it automatically gets smaller. And the more you do to it, it just keeps getting smaller until
That's very
eventually, I mean,
That's
you know.
his phone.
Set it on the table.
Right. Then eventually shit's done.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, you just you,
There
you
you
got to keep working at it, and then eventually, you know.
and I noticed that like the older I get, like if I would have done all this stuff like 10 years ago, I would
Yeah.
be done.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
Right?
But
When
like
you,
But
it
at
sucks
least
when
you know it
realize
now.
it.
that's what I mean. Like
Some
I'm
people never
realizing it.
realize that,
Like
you
I'm
know,
realizing it
unfortunately.
now, but like it's making me do more because I'm like, what if I didn't start stuff for another 10 years?
Exactly.
Like that would have
yeah.
been 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also got to look, by the time you're done, and you're ready to retire, you'll still have 30 years in by the time you're 62.
Right.
Like over 30 years in.
Yeah, it's not over 30.
So that's a pretty good pension.
Yeah, it's true.
That's a lot going into
Plus,
retirement.
You'll have a good pension, so I'll just live off yours.
That's true.
That's the plan. Live
That's
off that
true.
postal service pension.
Long after I'm, in the cold and in the ground.
Probably. You have life insurance now. It's fine.
I hope it's terrible.
It probably will be. We'll give you $1,000. Not even enough to stick you in the ground.
Just throw me over the hill. I don't
Just
care.
throw me in the river.
Oh, man. All right. We're at an hour 15. We did good.
115.
All right. Hey, dude, thanks for doing this. Appreciate
No
it.
problem, man.
Honey, thanks for being on.
You're
love
welcome.
Love you.
Love you.
We'll be back again next week with,
Yeet.
with the smooth sounds of Modern Savage Podcast. Bye.
Bye.